Hey, what's up out there, everyone? This is Wilfred, and this is a UX design consultation for SurfShark. Recently, while exploring canceling my SurfShark subscription, I encountered that they are using dark UX patterns. Okay. Now, what is a dark UX pattern? Well, pretty briefly, it's a way to basically influence your actions to not proceed further. Basically, make the task incredibly challenging or impossible. And in SurfShark, in the case of SurfShark, their dark UX pattern was to make the task of unsubscribing impossible by not allowing it to exist, okay? So bear in mind, this is a big no-no, because it's not that it's difficult. It's not that I have to go through a bunch of stuff, although it was difficult, but primarily they made it not exist at all. What do I mean by that? Well, as you can see here, auto renew is on. That means my subscription will always renew perpetually. It's on. And as you look to the right, you'll see that there's no way to turn it off. There's nothing there. It should be something maybe to the right or some way to turn it off. Now, you're looking at a portion where I have contacted SurfShark, told them I wanted to unsubscribe, and voila, now auto renew is off, and you can see to the right the edit button reappears. So this is an example of them using the dark UX pattern until the subscriber contacts them and tells them I want to unsubscribe. Now all of a sudden it appears to function properly, where it was an impossible task before. And also you will see, as I just showed you a little while ago, the edit button is still functioning as a way to deter me from unsubscribing, because even though it's off, all I can do is turn it back on. Now, I don't know why I would want to turn it back on, because I just went through all this trouble to turn it off. So I'm definitely not going to turn it back on. But it doesn't really function the way it should. It just is not really allowing me to turn off auto renew or cancel or even stay subscribed without it automatically renewing, which I probably would do if I was given a choice to do that every month. Some subscriptions I like to control if I'm going to do it from month to month. This one I use when I'm traveling. So obviously when I'm not traveling, there's no point in having a VPN. And when I am traveling, then there's a point in having a VPN. So, now, I hope this explains a lot, gives you a good example of what a dark UX pattern is. In theory, in UX, they're not supposed to exist, but they do. And like I said, they went down, they had two roads to go down: make it very difficult and make it impossible. They chose to make it impossible. As you saw before, it's a total different user experience. For me contacting them and saying I want to unsubscribe, which they had to do, I still couldn't do it. I had to contact them, and then all of a sudden, once they do it, I get a whole new database, a whole new partition comes up. Whereas before, if I didn't think to contact them or didn't have the time or didn't want to be bothered, there would be no way to turn it off. So I put the contrast here to show you this is a bona fide example in the wild of dark UX by SurfShark. So if I was SurfShark, what would I do? Well, if I was SurfShark, I would definitely remove this immediately, because it's beyond unethical. It's against the law. It really is against the law. And they play that game of how much time do you want to waste for basically $12.95 a month, depending on how many times they can make you pay before you realize you didn't want to, because you couldn't unsubscribe. Now, unsubscribing is not a bad thing. Making it difficult is questionable, but making it impossible is against the law. And I've showed you that they intentionally done that. Now, what can they do? Like I said, they can go back to making it where you don't have auto renew at all, and the person decides how many months, or the person decides, or the person is notified monthly, that they want to keep it going some type of way like that. Or you can also just, hey, allow the user to decide for themselves, allow the user to decide for themselves if they want to turn on auto renew or not. But this way, this method of doing things is not cool at all. Everyone knows about Dark UX. And so who causes this? Where does this come from? Well, this comes from the stakeholder, right? We think that as UX practitioners, we follow the rules. But if the stakeholder says, hey, this is impactful to my product, unsubscribing, and I want to make it impossible for them to do that, then most people have to follow what the stakeholder says.